Bought a pickup recently? You might want to sit down. Some once hot trucks have lost shocking amounts of value. We're breaking down 8 models collapsing hard in 2026. Jeep Gladiator, when oversupply destroys resale. The Jeep Gladiator entered the market with a powerful identity. Jeep leaned heavily into the adventurous image, blending Wrangler DNA with pickup utility. For a while, that formula worked. Buyers were excited about removable doors, open-air driving, and serious trail capability, combined with a usable truck bed. In 2024, the average Gladiator transaction price sat near $46,890. At that level, expectations were high, especially for resale strength. 2 years later, reality looks different. Values have fallen roughly 34%. That kind of drop is not typical early depreciation. It reflects a deeper imbalance. Stellantis overestimated demand and loaded dealerships with inventory. When supply outpaced interest, incentives followed. Dealers began cutting prices aggressively, sometimes slashing tens of thousands of dollars off MSRP to move units. That strategy solved a short-term inventory problem, but it devastated existing owners. When a brand new Gladiator suddenly sits on a lot at $39,000 after discounts, resale math shifts immediately. Used buyers compare options carefully. Paying near new pricing for a used model stops making sense overnight. Beyond pricing, the Gladiator sits in a niche category. The truck shines off-road, but compared to more traditional pickups like the Toyota Tacoma, towing performance and ride comfort fall short for many daily drivers. When economic pressure rises and buyers prioritize practicality, lifestyle-focused vehicles tend to soften first. The Gladiator remains capable and unique, but uniqueness does not always protect value when the market adjusts. GMC Sierra EV. Premium pricing meets market correction. The GMC Sierra EV launched with ambition. It positioned itself as a high-end electric pickup, targeting buyers willing to spend near 6 figures for cutting-edge technology. In 2024, average transaction prices hovered around $97,000. That placed the Sierra EV firmly in premium territory. Within 2 years, depreciation reached roughly 36%. For early buyers, that represents tens of thousands of dollars in lost value. Several factors contributed. The Sierra EV rides on GM's Ultium platform, a new electric architecture introduced under heavy industry pressure to electrify quickly. While innovative early recalls related to potential power loss and software glitches generated caution among used buyers. Confidence matters deeply in the resale market. When shoppers see headlines about stability control warnings or drive power concerns, hesitation grows. At the same time, GMC introduced more affordable trims around the $60,000 range. That pricing shift undercut the resale value of earlier Denali Edition 1 models dramatically. A buyer comparing options sees a new Sierra EV at a lower entry price and questions why a used example should command significantly more. The original exclusivity premium evaporated. Early adopters paid top dollar to be first. The market recalibrated once volume increased and lower-priced alternatives appeared. GMC Hummer EV pickup. From icon to financial shock. The GMC Hummer EV pickup arrived as a bold statement. It embraced size, weight, and spectacle. Early buyers paid well over $100,000, with some transactions reaching even higher figures. In 2024, the average hovered above $104,000. Within 2 years, depreciation reached about 36%, equating to losses approaching $37,500 for many owners. The Hummer EV was never designed to be subtle. It turned heads immediately. However, long-term demand depends on more than attention. The truck's massive weight and energy consumption limited practicality for many potential buyers. As excitement cooled, the resale market adjusted. Battery longevity concerns also linger in the background of every high-dollar electric vehicle transaction. Even if warranties remain active, uncertainty about future replacement costs influences offers. Buyers calculate risk carefully when approaching 6-figure vehicles. High-cost add-ons like specialty paint or carbon fiber accents added substantial expense at purchase but carry minimal value in resale negotiations. Owners absorb those differences entirely. The Hummer EV remains distinctive, but distinction alone cannot prevent sharp depreciation when market enthusiasm cools and real-world considerations dominate purchasing decisions. Tesla Cybertruck: hype versus long-term demand. The Tesla Cybertruck entered the market surrounded by anticipation. Its angular design and stainless steel body set it apart from traditional pickups. In 2024, the average transaction price approached $94,485. 2 years later, depreciation reached approximately 36%. Early demand stemmed largely from loyal Tesla supporters and technology enthusiasts. Once that core audience was satisfied, broader truck buyers evaluated the Cybertruck against traditional options. Practical considerations emerged quickly. The stainless steel exterior, while unique, requires careful maintenance to preserve appearance. Repair costs and insurance premiums reflected the truck's unconventional design. Sales numbers declined year over year as excitement stabilized. In resale markets, momentum plays a significant role. When sales soften, pricing adjusts downward. The Cybertruck's novelty remains part of its appeal, but novelty does not guarantee stable long-term value. If this analysis is helping clarify the market shifts, take a moment to subscribe so you can stay ahead of these trends. Nissan Titan XD, caught between two worlds. The Nissan Titan XD struggled with identity from the beginning. It was marketed as a bridge between half-ton pickups and heavy-duty models. In theory, that positioning offered the best of both worlds. In practice, buyers often prefer clear categories. In 2024, the average Titan XD sold for around $65,127. 2 years later, values had fallen roughly 41%. The truck could not fully compete with heavy-duty models like the Ford F-250 or Ram 2500 for serious towing tasks. At the same time, it felt oversized and less efficient compared to traditional half-tons for daily use. When Nissan announced the discontinuation of the Titan lineup, resale confidence weakened further. Even though parts availability remains for years after production ends, perception shapes pricing. Buyers often hesitate when they hear a model is no longer being built. Owners reported issues such as rust concerns and interiors that felt outdated compared to rivals. The 5.6-liter V8 earned respect for durability, but overall competitiveness lagged. When a vehicle sits in a middle category without strong demand on either side, depreciation accelerates. Ram 1500, trusted name, shaky transition. The Ram 1500 has long been one of the most recognized trucks in America. Seeing nearly 47% depreciation over 2 years surprised many owners. In 2024, average transaction pricing exceeded $65,000. Losing more than $30,000 in that time frame reflects a dramatic market shift. Ram discontinued the well-known 5.7-liter Hemi 5.8 and introduced the Hurricane twin-turbo inline-6 engine. On paper, the Hurricane delivers strong power and efficiency. However, truck buyers often prioritize proven longevity. Early reports of oil leaks and coolant valve module issues unsettled confidence. Ram also launched a new electrical architecture branded as Atlantis. Owners reported problems ranging from warning lights to system malfunctions that required extended service visits. When both a new engine and new electronic systems debut simultaneously, complexity increases. Used buyers factor that uncertainty into offers. The Ram 1500 remains popular, but transitional periods can impact value sharply. Buyers who prefer established drivetrains and systems often hesitate until long-term reliability becomes clear. That hesitation directly influences resale pricing. Ford F-150 Lightning promise meets practical limits. The Ford F-150. Lightning carried enormous expectations. The F-150's name represents decades of dominance in the truck market. In 2024, average Lightning pricing hovered around $74,558. Within 2 years, depreciation approached 48%. The Lightning promised to deliver electric innovation without sacrificing capability. In everyday commuting, the truck performs impressively. However, real-world towing significantly reduces range. For buyers who rely on trucks for demanding tasks, that limitation requires careful planning around charging stops. As more owners shared experiences, the market perception evolved. The Lightning shifted from being viewed as a full work replacement to being seen primarily as a commuter with utility space. That repositioning impacts resale. Buyers seeking maximum versatility often lean toward traditional powertrains until electric infrastructure and battery density improve further. Ford's decision to electrify its most iconic model was bold. Early adopters paid premium pricing. As incentives shifted and market competition intensified, used values corrected quickly. The Lightning still represents innovation, but pricing momentum changed as expectations matured. Chevrolet Silverado EV, the steepest drop. The Chevrolet Silverado E5 experienced the most dramatic depreciation on this list, with roughly 55% value decline within 2 years. In 2024, average pricing stood around $82,832, with higher trims surpassing six figures. Like the Sierra E5, the Silverado EV rides on GM's Ultium platform, carrying similar recall history and software updates. However, it introduced another controversial decision, removing Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. Instead, GM implemented a Google-based system with subscription tiers for certain features, including advanced driver assistance. For used buyers, subscription-based functionality adds complexity. Paying monthly fees on top of financing influences perceived value. When comparing options, shoppers often prefer vehicles without recurring service charges for core features. The broader EV market cooled as well. Early enthusiasm slowed as pricing adjusted and incentives fluctuated. Cold weather performance and towing range reduction added additional hesitation for some buyers. When depreciation exceeds half of original value within 2 years, it signals a significant mismatch between launch pricing and sustainable demand. The Silverado EV remains technologically advanced, but market forces reshaped its financial trajectory quickly. Looking across all 8 trucks, a pattern emerges. Rapid technological change, aggressive launch pricing, and shifting consumer expectations created volatility. Manufacturers rushed innovation to meet regulatory pressures and competitive timelines. Early adopters often pay a premium for being first, but they also absorb the steepest depreciation when markets correct. Electric vehicles experienced particularly sharp adjustments due to incentives, pricing cuts, and infrastructure concerns. At the same time, traditional models faced transitions involving new engines and electronic architectures. When buyers perceive uncertainty, resale values reflect that caution. Which of these trucks surprised you most? And do you believe electric pickups will stabilize in value as technology matures? Share your perspective in the comments. If you want to see which trucks are defying depreciation trends right now, watch the next video, because the contrast may challenge what you expect.